It says we're live. However, I won't believe it till I see it on YouTube because I need confirmation. Nope. Not yet. Nope.
It's coming. It's coming.
Nope. Mm-mm. Not yet. I just we're waiting for the start. Waiting.
Yeah. That's a
Oh, here we
little
are.
okay.
Here.
All right.
Okay. I see us now. Hi, everyone. I see Kathy straight off the bat. Hey, Kathy. How are you? Welcome back to Double D Live Chat. We've been on a hiatus. Um, hey Jane, thanks for popping in. Uh, no, for any other reason is that we've just been busy. We haven't been anywhere like on holiday or anything. Um, hey Monica. Um, we just Daniel been working in the coal mines. I've been working in the coal mines. We're just this holiday
And
all together.
I've been sick for the past week.
Yeah,
So if I have to blow my nose and do a little coughing and stuff, bear with me.
yeah. I've been dealing with I think it's allergies because take a Zyrtec and they're gone. So my nose stops up and my I feel like I have like stuff going down my throat. So if I'm coughing, it just started like when autumn started. I said, please don't let me be one of those people that gets autumn allergies because I love autumn.
Yeah, this is not allergies.
We're happy to see you too, Monica. Thank you so much for y'all coming in, child. Okay,
Well,
I
I'm glad at least 3 people remembered that we are now doing this way on this day at this time.
Well, I try to put promos out, like you do. But hey ho, you know what? If you subscribe to me, it'll pop up. If not, I guess you'll miss it.
I
How are
did a
you?
promo too. What'd you think of my promo I did?
Um, it is here. Meteorological autumn started September 1st. Now, autumn solstice starts. Uh, was it start? The 22nd. Hey, Star Helix. Thanks. You're from Gemma's channel. Hey, thanks for popping in. We just talk a lot of mess over here, Star. So it's like a chat. Um, so yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. So behind me and behind Daniel, my fall literally did throw up because look, his fall looks very nice and held together, pretty.
Anyways, Amanda, get over it. We're fall people. We've been talking about fall since last Christmas.
As soon as fall ended last year, we started talking about.
Well, this is one day. We are 69 degrees today.
Oh, look at
It
you.
is beautiful blue skies out there. This is just actually a beautiful fall day.
For
And
y'all.
the reason I am celebrating it because this is it. We then go back to the 90s with humidity and stuff for the next 2 weeks. So I am embracing my inner fallness for today.
Was it that warm? It wasn't that warm here today, Charlie. It was like rainy and uh, uh it must have been about, I'm gonna say it in Fahrenheit because it was about 20 and but muggy, which is about I don't know what that 70, 72 or 70. It was real muggy, and I was telling Daniel, it feels cool outside, but not. I don't know how to describe it. It was nasty here today. It was like that little pissy, misty rain. You know what I'm talking about? Where it feels like it's constantly raining. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And we're in that here. We're in that transition, trying just the starting of it, where I mean, yesterday we were 80. The day before that we were 85.
Right.
And today it's 69. And then tomorrow we're going to just jump right back into, well, not tomorrow, but next week we're jumping right back into it with all the heat and the humidity. And I am mad. So I am celebrating today.
Just today. Amanda,
I've got all my fall colors on.
not all your fall colors.
To summer.
Yeah, see, even so, she Amanda's turned her heating on already, but she lives in Scotland, so that's a little further north. Star is like, can't wait for the crisp mornings and evenings. Yes, Star. Kathy, Kitchen Cat, our leaves are just starting. Uh, love it. A Scottish fall that last. Okay, to be fair, yes, the Scottish fall does last for months, but it is beautiful. I have because I've been up there during the fall. Anyway, so we've got a weather check. That's great. Everybody's telling us the weather or the weather they wish for. um, yeah. So, like I said, we're back. We're back. What is the plan, Daniel? Are we once a month? What
Once
are
a
we doing?
month.
Once a
The
month.
first month,
The
the
first
first
Saturday.
Saturday of every month at 1 p.m.
I knew that. Yeah.
That's how we're going to have to play it for right
For
now.
now. For now. Because like he's working during the week, I'm working during the week. The only day we actually have off together is Saturday. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and I don't want to use up all of Dolores's weekends, and plus, with me not having 2 days in a row,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
really rushed to get stuff done on the 1 days that I do have off to do things. So it's just gonna have to be once a month for now. And then also, I have no idea when I'm going to be going live on my channel, because there are times that I don't feel like doing nothing. I keep thinking I want to do Tuesdays, but that doesn't usually work out because I'm usually just tired. I am wearing the glob.
Yeah.
I got this from Kathy.
You did from the
It's
Kitchen
the
Cat.
glob brooch.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about different subjects. Oh, Daniel's going to blow his nose real quick. He's going to turn his sound off so you can't hear him. Oh, he's coughing. Anyway, yeah, he's been a little ill. He's been under the weather, but he's starting to spark up a little bit. And I don't live anywhere close to Oxford. I live in Derbyshire, which is in the middle of England. Literally smack in the middle. There's a little town, village by me that has a sign that says the middle of England. So I have to believe it. Did you get your box, Daniel?
Now, Kathy, I did not get my box, and I am going to let you know that I got several other boxes. So I don't know what happened there. And I also received boxes from somebody from Up. So I don't know what happened. Maybe the address was put wrong, or maybe the Up's driver that day just decided, I'm just going to throw it on a porch somewhere. I don't know.
What?
I do have to say that the box that I did get that was from Ups, they handed it over to USPS.
Yeah.
And my actual postman delivered it.
Yes, I still live near the Crooked Spire City, Chesterfield. Yes, I live by there. Mm-hmm.
Kathy is hard telling. Whoever, they were either very disappointed with their package or they're making all kinds of scrapbooks and stuff right now.
Yeah, it's so. Daniel, what are you going to talk about today with the people here? The people.
Okay. So Dolores is trying to move us along here.
No. We can sit here all day talking about the issues with USPS and UPS. That's a whole hour.
And throw FedEx in the middle of it. Woo!
Oh, let's go ahead, man. Put in there, which is one that they use here, Yodel. We'll put them all in. Yeah.
Okay, so since I've been sick, of course, I never really look anything up anyways. So I got to thinking, and this just happened last night. So I've got my sites pulled up. So we'll be doing reading. Dolores does her notes. I just take them off the internet. I just sit there and read them off the internet. I mean, so that's the way I roll. I was just thinking about one thing from my childhood, and more than likely, like I told Dolores, we have probably discussed this 15 million times. So we're going to discuss 15 million and one. But I was thinking about things that are no longer around that I liked in my childhood, and so there's three things, and they're not. I'm just talking out my butt to try to have a subject to talk about. I'm sick. Give me some slack. So there are three things. The first one, and I know we've discussed this before, is a restaurant, a fast food restaurant that my family and I used to go to. And the thing with my family is we never went inside. We always would go through the drive-through, then park in the parking lot and eat.
Oh,
It was just a thing. But Burger Chef, and I don't know if people remember Burger Chef or if it was across the whole United States. Now, they did have quite a few in the 70s, so I don't know who remembers Burger Chef and who doesn't.
I'm gonna look it up now because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'm getting ready to talk about it.
Look it up anyway.
I can give you the website because I'm on it. Oh, so Kathy remembers it. So, anyways, Burger Chef, and I hate this because this is actually Wikipedia. There's two conflicting things. So in its opening statement, it says Burger Chef was an American fast food restaurant chain. It began operating in 1954 in Indianapolis, Indiana, and expanded throughout the United States. And at its peak in 1973, had 1,050 locations, including some in Canada. The chain featured several signature items such as Big Chef, spelled SHEF instead of the CHEF, and Super Chef hamburgers. In 1982, the General Foods Corporation, owners of the Burger Chef trademark and name, divested itself of the restaurant chain and gradually selling it to the owners of Hardee's. The final restaurant to carry the Burger Chef name closed in 1996, which I didn't know they stayed around that long. But here's what gets me. So it says, oh, I see what they've done. Okay. So it says Frank and Donald Thomas in 1954 patented the flame broiler in their parent company, General Equipment Corporations, and started the restaurant in 1957. So the restaurant evidently actually didn't start till 57. In 1972, its number of locations, 1,200, was surpassed only by McDonald's, which had 1,600. Um, they offered the Big Chef and then later a quarter pound hamburger, which was Super Chef. They added the Works bars where customers added their own toppings to hamburgers. In 1968, General Foods Corporation purchased the chain and continued its rapid expansion. At the time that General Foods purchased it, it had 600 locations. I got a cough. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna cry now. Hold on. Talk.
Okay. I was thinking as you were talking about, we never had Burger Chef, and I don't remember it in Texas. I never went to one. So it was, I don't know if it was maybe that far down south or whatever. Carry on.
I don't know. So, anyways, that's the gist of the story of that. But the funny thing is, I don't remember the food.
It must have not been memorable then.
Well, I was so young.
Right.
Evidently, I mean, I was little. The thing that I remembered is one time they had, remember the New Zoo Review?
Yes.
So they had somebody dressed up as Freddy Frog there, and he was handing out little plastic rings. And that has stuck in my head forever, and I don't know why, but I do remember going to the Burger Chef every time we go grocery shopping. That was our thing.
Yeah.
We'd travel down to the town and we'd get lunch and then we'd grocery shop.
Yeah.
And I have a fond memory of that, but I don't remember what the food tasted like.
I mean, even so, yeah. No, we did not have Booger Chef in Texas, or not in Houston anyway. I don't remember it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how far they spread. And a lot of these that a couple of these I'm going to be talking about are regional.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially the next one I'm going to talk about is very regional. But I mean, if they had 1,200 and some in Canada, I think they even, let me look, because I think this even said they even put some in Australia. By 1969, international expansion was underway with General Foods building 10 Burger Chef outlets in Australia. The expansion ended in 1975 with a US $1.3 million loss. Evidently, Australians disliked the limited burger menu. Okay. Oh, and
Yeah.
here was so I guess Kathy is the only one that remembers it. Here's some of their logos. From 70 to 71, it was "There's more to like at Burger Chef." And Burger Chef goes all out to please your family. 71 to 76 was "You get more to like at Burger Chef." 76 to 80, "We really give you the works." Open wide, America. You never can forget. You get more to like at Burger Chef. Interesting.
See, we ate out quite a bit because my mom worked weekends and my dad took care of us. Although my dad did cook for us, but it would be like usually after church because my mom would work weekends and my dad would take us to church. And after church, we'd all go out to eat or whatever. So yeah, we always went. But I don't ever remember Booger Chef. Booger Chef. It's because it sounds like you're saying Booger Chef.
I remember it fondly. I don't care how it's pronounced. I remember it fondly.
Not well enough to remember how the damn food tasted.
I don't remember a lot of food taste from my childhood.
Oh,
Isn't that weird?
that is weird. Yeah.
I really don't.
Or they didn't actually feed you.
Now, honestly, when I was a little kid, I was very skinny. So
Because they didn't feed you Burger Chef.
I probably didn't eat a lot. So, but I don't remember a lot of.
You might have been picky. You might have been a picky eater, maybe.
Oh, I probably was because I was. So that was the one thing. So then that got me going down memory lane. So when we would go to Burger Chef and get our groceries and stuff, we would also stop by 3D department store.
Who?
3D department store.
Okay, 3D department store.
So from what I can remember, it was probably sort of like a Big Lots.
All right. Okay.
So I looked it up because I'm like, what the heck was a 3D department store? Because I remember going there and I remember that there was this mean old lady in the toy section. She was mean.
Is that because she would let you play with the toys?
That she'd holler at you and stuff. And I remember thinking she was mean. Mom and Dad was probably like, oh God, let's just take him home. Because I was the kind of kid who would just go round and around and around the toys and around the toys, especially if I was allowed to get something. It took me forever. And I would go around and around and around. Because I remember Mom and Dad getting very annoyed with me. But if you can only get one toy, you want that one special toy you're gonna like.
That's the one, yeah.
So anyways, the 3D department store was very regional. So it was Illinois and Indiana, I believe. And once again, it came out of Indianapolis, Indiana. So it was Danner's Incorporated, and it operated retail and restaurant outlets Its largest and oldest division was the Danner's 5 and 10 chain of 5 and dime stores, which it sold off in 1985. Let's see. I'm trying to get to the variety stores, restaurants, and frame and craft stores were sold off in 1985 in effort to save the 3D discount chain. Well, I come to find out this is what the 3D stood for. Danner's Discount Department Store. So it was in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan. And it only had 35 locations.
Okay.
But I thought, for me, it was very interesting to go back and look at this because I'm sure we all have the regional places
Yeah.
that were around, stores and stuff that disappeared because they either got bought up by big
Right, yeah.
chains or they fell because of the big chains.
See, we didn't really, because I lived in the city, so we
No.
usually had stores. Yeah,
When you poll and you live in the sticks,
but we didn't live in the
you go
cities.
to a big
Oh,
city
with-
which consisted of like, I don't know, maybe 8,000 people.
Yeah, I still lived in a major city, so we had pretty much all the chain stores. There might have been a few, but you know what Big Lots used to be called when it first opened?
3D department store.
Apart from 3D Department. No, what the original name of Big Lots was. McFrugal's.
Interesting.
Only because I used to go to the McFrugal before they became Big Lots, and they turned to Big Lot. Yeah, that's what they used to be called. I remember a store in Houston called Sage, and it was kind of like a Target. And I don't know if anybody else, maybe that was a regional store, but it was like a Target or a Kmart, but it was called Sage. I don't know if that was a chain or I have no idea. It was
See,
quite a
that's
big.
the way with this 3D department store. It was
Yeah.
just one of those general, like back in the day, Kmart and all that was before they started putting food and all that stuff in it.
Yeah, Sears. Target is still doing good, but Sears is gone. See, I don't think it's online at all or anywhere.
Yeah.
Sears-
So I'm like,
okay. See, Bree had the white front and the Jolly 5 and 10. See, we had a 5 and 10 called TG and Y, where I don't know. I think it was more of a Houston thing. I don't know if it was a chain, but
see, that's what Kathy is saying. That's what happened to a lot of them. They were bought up.
Oh, okay. Pat Catan's. Yeah.
This is what makes me mad is that a lot of these.
Oh no, Target's in Canada. Oh, dang. That's weird.
A lot of these regional stores that got sort of big in the 50s.
TGY was in California. Yeah.
Then got bought up by the big corporations and they got rid of them.
Yeah.
They didn't buy them to bring them into the fold. They bought them up to get rid of them. And that just makes me so mad. But I fondly remember that too, even though it had the mean lady in it.
Not the mean lady.
The mean lady. And I'm trying my best to remember where it was at, but I can't because when you're a kid, imagine places being different than what they really were. And so I'm trying in my head to figure, I'll have to ask my sister because she was old enough, she wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Because in my head, it seemed like there was this weird way to get there. And it was, I don't know. Anyways, it was weird. So, and then the last, what?
So how far do you live now from where you grew up?
Oh, I'm in the general vicinity. So, where my sister lives, Arthur, Arthur, Illinois, is Amish capital of Illinois, basically.
Oh, wow.
They have a fairly big Amish community there, and people come in bus loads.
Gawk at them?
Yeah. Well, to shop at all their shop because they all have shops and woodworking, cabinets. There's a health food store, dry goods store. There's just all kinds. And they just come and they look at everything. Last weekend was the famous cheese festival.
What was it? An Amish cheese festival? Just a cheese festival?
It was just cheese festival. I think there used to be a cheese factory there at one point in time. I can't remember. And then this weekend, I think it's this weekend, at another little town from that called Arcola.
We have Arcola, yeah.
It's having its Broom Corn Festival, and you talk about crazy.
Oh,
I went once with my soul friend, and I said, I am never, ever going back to that again.
Why?
It was so crowded. It was just too much. It was just ridiculously crowded. And there wasn't, of course, I'm not a big festival person, so it was crazy.
So have you been to the Amish community? Have you yourself?
Oh, yeah, because I'm from that area.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. I mean, but then again, I feel like I'm just like walking into their house. Not their house, but yeah.
Once it's like being at the beach. People live in Florida.
Yes, but the beach is a piece of property. Amish are people.
They're people, but they're people. You may think they're not, but they're people.
No, I do. I know they're people. What I'm saying is, it's like, I don't know. I feel like let's go to an old Indian reservation, like back in the old days. You're like, is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just feels awkward.
I know what you're saying, but the Amish have embraced it because they make lots of money off of it.
Oh, I bet they do. Oh no, I know. That's how I feel.
If a Amish label gets slapped on something, it's 3 times the amount that it would be if it was something else.
On all my vintage, and then
I mean, it's the truth. It is the truth.
Stare at them, right? And stare at them, Bree. That's what I'm saying. You're sitting there like gawking at them, like.
Well, and I will let you know that there are some. I've never done it, but there are some Amish homes that actually have you come in and they make a meal.
Oh, now you've gone too far. See, I can't go to their house.
Yeah, they have you in and they will make an Amish meal.
No, too close for comfort for me.
So, yeah, it's
yeah,
and people who drive, they will drive around because you can gawk at it because not so much anymore, but farming was a thing. So you'll see them out there plowing with the horses.
Yeah.
And they drive in their horse and buggies and people drive around, but it's sort of changing because you'll also see them, if it's allowed, drive tractors or whatever.
Right.
Whatever their elders or whatever they're called allows at the time or whatever. So, and then there's also Mennonites, which are.
What are those?
Actually, the Mennonites are older than the Amish.
Oh, okay. I've heard of them, but I didn't know.
The Amish broke away from the Mennonites because
Amish thought the Mennonites were too conservative.
Yes, exactly. Because the Mennonites drive cars and they have electricity and.
Well, they're less conservative than the Amish.
So, I guess.
Yeah.
They're more open to modern ways. I wouldn't say they're more open with their stance on things.
So Amanda says there's this community same as the Mennonite community where I live in Canada, very big on tourism. I've done that Mennonite tour. Only people who are allowed to leave school at age 12. They shouldn't be allowed to leave school then either. They probably build a pretend house. Amish get by the Mennonites. Oh, okay. So because
a lot of them are related.
Oh, so because the Mennonites are allowed to have cars, why?
It's just their version of their religion.
So their God says it's okay to drive a car, and the Amish God says you can't.
Let's not get Dolores started on this. This is not why I brought that up, because Dolores will get started and then she'll get me started and then we're going to get kicked off of YouTube.
They're everywhere. Look, they're in Mexico.
Yeah. They do. They'll move. There's all over the United States. There's all kinds of
Okay.
Amish communities.
So she said Mennonites where I was drove buggies if they owned cars, they were black. Okay. So God said they had to have a black car.
That's not the way it is here.
Just
They
wondering.
they just drive regular.
Oh, but they do
cars.
yummy cheese. Okay, well then I'm okay with it then.
See, hence the cheese festival. So, anyways, on to my last one so Dolores can get on her talk. So the last thing I was thinking about is I miss cabooses.
Cabooses. Is that a restaurant?
No, a caboose on the
A
end of
train
the
caboose?
train. Yes.
I got a caboose for you.
I remember that does not looks like the caboose I liked. I'm telling you that right now. I miss cabooses. And so I had to go and look that up. And I think the reason I always liked them is because I've always been fascinated by tiny houses. And that was the original tiny
Oh,
house.
yes. I know people who've made houses out of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got rid of that. And they were made because they had the conductor
Yeah.
were on the other end and the engineers were up front doing the engineering. So they had to watch the trains for axles that were going to spark and explode, shifting weight. They had to get out and move the tracks and all that stuff.
Mm.
So that was the original purpose of having that there. So they would have a little shelter. And then they built the kind, and it was just a little shanty made out of wood on top. And then they went to the caboose that had the little bay windows that stuck out so they could so they could see what was going on. And then they went to the one with the on top where they could stand up and look out the top to look over that stuff. So
reason should have to pay attention. Yeah, usually we see engines at the end of a train. That's all I've never seen. Yeah. Here with the trains, it's just another
That's what they made this thing called basically it's went electronic is what has happened.
Okay.
Because they made what's it called? End of train device. So it does all the stuff that the people did. So it's hooked in, it's hooked in and it can tell if something's shifting or if something's wrong and all that stuff. And then they got to fire all those people.
Oh, great. Mm-hmm.
And save a bunch of money that way by getting rid of all the people.
Pay for modernism, boo for firing people.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And they still do use them at the train switchy places. But like Bree said, they'll use engines now to move back and forth. It's easier using engines.
Back,
yeah. I miss the cabooses. I had a thing about the cabooses.
You're right. I haven't seen one unless it's I've been on a steam train since I've been, like here in this country, they have steam train rides and you can go. There's always a caboose on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the regular stuff, they just don't exist anymore because it's electronic and all that stuff.
So Amanda says for the Mennonites, no zips, only buttons, no phones in homes there in Waterloo County, just one in the head boss man's house, which everybody used for emergencies. So wouldn't the head boss man be God? Just saying.
So see, even the Mennonites have their own fractions. And so here the Amish don't have phones, but they do have cell phones. Just saying. So it's kind of relaxed now. It's just according to what the people decide.
I don't think they consider the Pope their boss. I'm just saying. Don't think they do. I mean, I just take the piss because there's so many rules in all the same same Christian religion that it's like, well, so your God must say this and your God must. Anyway, we're not talking about it.
So I'm done with my subject. So
my subject is not that. My subject is, don't get me started. Oh, I meant as a head guy. Well, I mean, I don't think he's gonna let you in his house to use his phone, Brie. I mean, he might. I don't know. It seems like a pretty cool pope, so he might let you in. Um, so I'm going to talk about, well, autumn. And when I say autumn, I mean a particular activity that happens in autumn. Look behind you. Look behind me. Look, Autumn threw up. Autumn's really nice at his house. Um, Yay, Lord. So, and when I say autumn, there's a certain activity that takes place every year, every year. Now, I'm pretty sure most of the New Englanders, for the 4 weeks that it happens, are get a little annoyed with all the traffic and all the, chaos, all the people coming and destroying everything, because that's what people do. But we're going to talk about leaf peeping. Yes, leaf peeping. And Daniel didn't know what it was. Leaf peeping is a term used for people who go up to the northern part of the United States, the Northeast, like all the New England states, to appreciate their beautiful fall foliage and check it out, to see all the, like what's behind Daniel. They go to see that. And it lasts about 4 weeks, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depends on the weather, to go and check out all the beautiful, beautiful foliage that is autumn. Now, I looked up the word leaf peeping because, especially during Columbus Day weekend, yeah, I went in October. Yeah, October, to my friend's house. She lives in New Hampshire, and I couldn't believe how amazing it was. I thought when I saw pictures, I said, that shit's photoshopped. Oh no, it was beautiful. So, and I look, because I'm like, where does this term come from, leaf peeping? Because peeping as a word, the actual word means to cast a furtive glance, and I feel like you're like, like a peeping Tom. Love fall in Vermont. See, she's, if I know where I know where Val lives. No, I don't know where Val lives. I don't know exactly, but I think it's pretty quick to get from where up to that part of upstate New York to Vermont. It's like not far. and you upstate New York gets just as beautiful as New England does, but the New Englanders will remind you that upstate New York is not New England. Anyway, so leaf peeping, it was actually from a term coined in Vermont, which the original term was leaf peeker. So you're peeking at the leaves, and not leaf peeping, leaf peeker. That is all the information I found out about the term leaf peeping. Like there was no long, oh, Mr. Josiah Smith decided that one day, I thought it was going to be this very big, long, Old English. It wasn't. It was like, yeah, it was just a term from Vermont. I'm like, that's it? That's all she wrote? I'm going to need a little bit more history. Well, there's not. There's not. And it's so funny because, as soon as autumn hits, you're like, if a leaf changes color in a forest and there's no one there to Instagram it, does it still happen? I thought that was funny. Because, as soon as fall hits, the Instagram is just the solid colors of autumn. If you scroll it. Yeah, I prefer leaf peeker. Peeping is a bit pervy. That's the thing. That's why I'm like, leaf. Yeah, peeping is a little. But here's the thing. It didn't, and we all associate it with New England, especially if you're not in the States. If you're in the United States, I am not, but I'm from the United States. You associate the appreciation of leaf changing and leaves changing in the autumn. You really do, especially if you're from a state that it doesn't happen in, Texas. You really kind of turn towards New England as that's the OG right there. The OG autumn people. They are autumn. There wasn't any autumn before this happened. That's not entirely true. Come to find out, there's the actual appreciation of the autumn season and the leaves changing is actually steeped in Japanese history, which I find fascinating. In fact, the tradition of turning leaves and celebrating autumn dates back hundreds and hundreds of years in Japan. And they have their culture has an entire lexicon devoted to the colors, the trees, fall activities, all around the changing colors of autumn. Hey, Wigan Keegan, I love that. That's good. So, and this tradition is known as, please correct me. I mean, I'm going to try my best to pronounce this. Momijigari. Momijigari. That's how you say it, which literally means autumn leaf hunting. So, Momijigari. Say it all together, y'all. Momijigari. It literally means autumn leaf hunting, and which is a really autumn leaf hunting is I like it better than leaf peeping. I like leaf peeker. That's a close second. But autumn leaf hunting, although you're not killing the leaves, they already did. But I'm just saying it's a really good name. So in the Heian era in Japan, which was 1794 to 1185, the noble families of Japan and the rulers of the country led the country to a renaissance and encouraged the appreciation and creation of arts, and came up with depictions of seasonal imagery, and just really celebrated autumn. It was a period that reflected a combination of aesthetic appreciation for the seasons and enduring appreciation for the Buddhist idea of transience, meaning that our lives are defined by our impermanence. So there's always change. And what is more impermanent than a changing season? Which I found fascinating. So as Japan became more open to the West, they realized that they had to come up with an alternative word for nature. Because the way, yes, seeing the leaves symbolizes growth and rebirth. Absolutely, Kathy. And so, because the way they see nature was very different to the way the West saw nature. So they had to come up, and about 1900, they established a new definition for a westernized version of nature known as shizen. While nature, as the Japanese knew it, was more about being one with the universe, shizen incorporated the idea that nature was something that could be owned, manipulated, and mined, like used. Instead of just us appreciating nature as it is, shizen means nature, but in the context of I'm going to use nature, I'm going to own nature, I'm going to manipulate nature. So it was quite interesting. So the way like leaf peeping today exists in the United States, we feel it seems more that it's connected to the word shizen than the word the other word I said. I can't say it without looking at it. So instead of the Momijigari. So they, instead of being Momijigari, they feel like now the way the Western world is it shizen, which means it's more being manipulated than just appreciated. I'm sure, and you know what? I'm sure the native people wished we kept our diseases over in Europe. There you go. There are some very nasty bugs, or they're weeds. Is it the Japanese knotweed? Well, people brought those over. They might come in boats and stuff. You can't kind of control that. So the Japanese have a really great appreciation for, which you don't really think about. You think about we're very insular people, and we get used to what we know, and we get used to this is what we know, this is what we see, and this is where it started. and that's true with anybody. Listen, before I lived abroad, I thought everything was a certain way until I moved to another country and realized, no, not everything is that way, and that's okay. That's change, like the seasons. It's change. So, and it's funny because, and it's like so there's a bit that I read. It was so interesting that this tradition of the leaf hunting in Japan, how did it become? So the question remains: if this tradition that the Japanese have is steeped in such cultural significance, how did it become a popular fall outing in America? Well, I think as people, as Americans, as just people, you had a lot of naturists who like protected the forest, who were very, a lot of people lived not outside, but in rural areas, especially in the early 1900s. There were cities, but most people wanted to live, within a city, but the people who live in the country or out in the forest or near forest could see and appreciate the leaves. Yes, back in the day, hunters honored their prey, never letting any part. Nowadays, yes, absolutely, Wiegand. Agreed. And I think that's kind of what the Japanese were talking about when they created the word shizen for how we appreciate nature. So why do we seek out changing colors? And I kind of feel like it's like a long, we're going to go on a road trip. The color's going to change. We always like to associate these colors with memories. Listen, I grew up and have no memories of leaves changing color, but I still associate it because I lived in Texas. I lived in a hot place. Yes, and absolutely, Kathy. People are now dropping their or the dog mess. Pick up your dog mess. Although I'd rather see your dog mess than trash, because dog mess is natural. Well, poop, it'll go away. So and I never had a fall because where I lived, but I've always associated some kind of. I've attached myself to something I really never had growing up in Texas. It was something I yearned for, I guess. I suppose it was something I wanted to be able to have, something I wanted to experience. And so I always hung a lot of hope on that. But and sometimes you go, well, if you hang your hope, you might be disappointed. But when I actually moved to this country and experienced actual fall, oh, my hopes were not dashed at all. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? It was I think it was better than I imagined it would be. So I think that fall or any season in nature that you like, it doesn't have to be fall. It could be spring. It could be summer. It could be winter. You could be a winter person and be like, oh, when all the trees are bare and the crackling of the branches in the wind and the snow on the ground and my cheeks feel, frosty with the wind, that makes you feel happy too. So I just think that, yeah, and I think our bodies and brains need to go through changing seasons because initially that's what we did out when we, way back, we had to adjust with the changing seasons or die. You know what I mean? So the most connected, so the US was most connected to Japan through New England because that was where the ships went. Boston and Salem both did significant trade with the eastern regions. Resulting in vast holdings of Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and South Asian art. According to this person who wrote this article, Salem is the original hub for American connection to Japan, and specifically lacquerware brought over from Japan would have the maple leaf motif because Japanese maples. Their leaves look a lot like maple leaves, except it's like smaller, and which may have tipped the New Englanders off to similar beauty that was in their own backyard. But I believe that people already knew it's there. I think originally it was appreciated. I think the people before modern times, I suppose, let's say before the 1950s, after the Great Depression, people probably already did appreciate the autumn, the colors. And I think the way life moves so quickly, the way everything's so fast and everything is now and everything has to be done right now, and our lives become faster and faster and faster and faster. that when we see something beautiful that occurs in nature, we force ourselves to stop and look. And I think that's why I think people get so enamored with like the fall foliage, because it's like, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to go either go there and look, or just walk, be able to take it, have a chance to walk through this. And that's what I think it is a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Do you have very good falls where you are, Daniel?
According to what the weather is.
Right.
According to whether it was a hot, dry summer or a wet summer, and I don't know which ones produce the best colors, but I mean, you always get some type of show, and sometimes it's longer than others too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like right now, we're kind of in a drought, so I don't know what that's gonna do as far as the leaves changing and stuff. But I mean, except for farmland,
Right.
we have a lot of forest around here, so you see all the brilliant yellows and reds and purples and greens, browns, all that stuff. But it just varies from season to season according to what the weather was.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Amanda says, it's sort of it's everything. Oh, sorry. It's a sort of mindfulness for fall. Yeah, I think it's for any season. I think, yeah, I was still green here. I was driving from Sheffield to back home. Was it last weekend? And I was showing Daniel was it last weekend? It was last weekend. And I was trying to show you the changing leaves.
Mhm.
They weren't quite changing yet. They were kind of yellow. I was like, look, it's happening.
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, I don't see shit.
Yeah. You can
But I think
sort
it's
of
kind
see some colors on some trees, but it's not that they're changing.
yeah.
Something's happened with that particular tree that has caused some of the foliage, but um,
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of festivities and I think that's another reason why we like it. It's the harvesting. It's the like Thanksgiving, Halloween, October. Absolutely. And I think it's the kind of thing where it's like harvest and then we're going to hibernate. Do you know what I mean? And that's not for everyone. People sometimes don't want to hibernate or don't like it or feel like it's going to get dark earlier. That's going to be a problem for them.
well,
Which
that's
is
why we celebrate all the seasons. Fall is a time to reap all the work that you put in and prepare for the winter. It's also a time of slowing down. You're
yeah,
starting to slow down because you're getting less light. And then I don't know what the celebration of winter is.
winter solstice.
Just like a
That's
coziness, and then you have Chris here. You
yeah.
have Christmas, family, all that stuff. But then spring, because we've been after the holidays here, you have bleakness. Let's just be real. To me, winter is bleakness. It just is dark, it's cold, you can't do anything. You're shut up in the house, you're paying high prices for gas and all that stuff. So then when spring starts and it starts warming up, then that brings
Yeah,
about renewal.
yeah.
You can start going out, you can start doing things. Stuff's coming up out of the ground. You're in expectation of what you can grow and the flowers and stuff. And then when summer gets here, not for me, but for some people,
Not for me either.
there's the beaches, there's the growing, there's the being able to get out and do stuff and longer light and the warmth and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
then so it's just it's whatever. People don't like change, but they do. They
They
just don't
absolutely
realize it.
think they don't, but they do. Yeah, absolutely. I remember growing up and I lived in Houston, so it was southeast Texas, South Texas, not southeast Texas, southwest Texas. Anyway, it was down by Galveston. So I grew up in a place that was um, hot as hell in the summer, less hot in fall, not as hot in the winter. Uh, okay in spring and then hot again. So I never really had seasons per se. They were season ish. Like we wouldn't get our first cold front till October 31st, literally Halloween night. Every Halloween night, we would get a cold front, and either would rain or be really, or rain the day before, the day after, it'd be very cold. And then you got winter, which lasted about, I don't know, 3 days, and then it would get back into the 70s, which isn't a bad temperature. But I always told myself when I was young, I'm going to live somewhere that has seasons. If I make a promise, if I do nothing else in my life, if I achieve nothing else in this life, I will live someplace that has seasons. And I did.
Well, it's
Now,
very,
summer can be a washout here, but the rest of the seasons are good. Yeah.
it's very funny too how people, according to where you live, has adjusted to where you live. Because like us with the cold temperatures, the pipes freezing, the snow on the roads, we've got snow plows and salt and sand and everything else. And then, and I'm not downgrading this because it was very dangerous for the people in Texas, but when that freeze happened down there, we're up
Right now,
here like, what's
we're
wrong
not
with them
prepared
people?
for it. We don't have the
What is
equipment. I
wrong
would,
with them people down there? But you don't have the infrastructure
we don't even have the infrastructure for the electricity.
to
Okay.
deal with that stuff. So, and that's like, it's just according to where you're at. Well,
Yeah.
even like us here in the Midwest, people up in Canada are like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah. You ever seen a you
We'd
ever seen a
love for
tornado
it to
before?
be like 10 degrees below zero. It's
Right.
150 below up here with
Right. Yeah. And I do. Yeah. Because now I don't think I could ever. I mean, I'm not saying never say never, but I would struggle to live back in Houston with the temperature. I'd struggle. It gets to be 75 here, and I'm moaning and bitching. Oh my God, you Daniel knows. I gotta get AC put in this house. This is ridiculous.
yeah,
I would.
even it seems a lot hotter. I don't
Yeah,
know if it's just because I'm older.
that too. But no, it
It
does. It
seems
does
like
seem
a lot hotter now than what it used for
absolutely.
longer periods of time and more humid here than what it used to be.
Yeah,
But that could be my age.
yeah, and the fact that I have no patience for anything at all. I want to be cool. I want to be cool right now. Anyway, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, everybody, for our first Double D back on live chat back. I don't know where I was at. Our first Double D live chat. What am I doing? Where am I? I'm on YouTube. I'm going to be on YouTube tomorrow as well. So you'll see me there. Be on Beth's channel. But next month, October. I don't know what date it is. Well, we'll put the socials out. We haven't even
First
looked.
Saturday of the
First
month.
Saturday of October. We'll be back with our pumpkins on, our pumpkin spice, our pumpkin colored everything to see you.
Actually, I'm going to try to talk Dolores into dressing up because it'll
Oh,
be October and we're not going to have anything
dress up. Yeah, I'll dress up.
around, I started to say Thanksgiving, around Halloween.
Halloween.
So I think we should dress up.
Maybe we'll do a Halloween special. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll throw an extra one in there for Halloween.
It's according if I can get it into Dolores's busy schedule.
Thanks, Regan. I'm glad you came in. It was fun. I'm glad you joined us in the conversation. It's always good to have new people. Always good to talk and chat, y'all, and get your comments. And okay, we're gonna cut it off here now. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Kathy. Yes, I have the hat that Kathy. Oh yes, I'm dressed up. I got the whole kit and caboodle from Kathy. So I'm gonna dress up. All right, guys, you take care. We will see you in October. First Saturday in October. You guys take care, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.